Welcome back, Year 10. Today we're looking at exercise 9B area. The first thing I've got to show you here is the area formula summary sheet that I've created. It's available for you on your Teams page. So I would advise printing it out because you're going to use these formulas. We've got the area conversion here. Now it's slightly different to length because areas are now squared. So the conversions are the same. We've got multiplied by 1,000 for kilometres squared. But notice here, we actually need to square that 1,000 to get it into metres squared. So multiplied by 1,000, but it's squared. So we're actually multiplying by 1,000,000 to go to kilometres squared to metres squared. Same as in the past, going to centimetres squared, millimetres squared. When we want to go back the other way, we divide. But make sure you remember to square the area, the conversion. A whole lot of formulas here of different shapes. We've got square, rectangle and triangle. Composite shapes, you need to split them up into other shapes that you know the formula for. Parallelogram, kite and trapezium. The one that should be new now would be area of a sector. Same way as we did the circumference of a sector or the perimeter of a sector, we need to use this angle here and work out the fraction of a total circle. So there's an example coming up on how to use that one. So let's get started. This is example 9B1 from your textbook. If you want to convert 1.2 kilometres squared into metres squared, we use our conversion table above, and it shows us that 1.2 kilometres squared needs to be multiplied by 1,000 squared in order to get that to be equal to metres squared. If we do that, we end up with 1,200,000 metres squared. With these questions, you need to be really go slowly and just really concentrate and make sure you get the units and the conversion correct. Question 2 is from your textbook. It's question 2 rather than an example. And composite shape is made up of 2 or more basic shapes. Now I've already given it away here because I was having a little play before. But what we need to do is break this shape up into shapes that we know. So the easiest way to do that is by forming a square there, making that into a rectangle, and then this a semicircle. So we end up with a square here, a semicircle over here, and then this yellow I'll do here as our rectangle. So you can see the 3 different shapes there. One thing that we do need to then determine would be this length here. We don't know this yet, but we can work it out if we say 11. This little dash here means they're the same length. So 11 take away 3 is going to give us that length. So that length there is going to be 8 centimetres. So now we can do all our area calculations and work out the total area of this shape. So if we start with the area of the little square there, it's equal to 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9 centimetres squared. Next would be the area of the rectangle, which is going to be 26 multiplied by 8. And if you pop that into your calculator, 26 multiplied by 8 is equal to 208 centimetres squared. Area of the semicircle is going to be the area of a normal circle, which would be pi r squared. But then we've got to halve it, so multiply by a half. So if we put that into our formula, r is the radius. So it's actually half of the diameter there. So it's going to be 4 squared multiplied by a half, which ends up equaling 25.13 centimetres squared. So in doing that, don't forget here to multiply by the half there because it's only half a circle. And if we add all those values together, the 9 plus 208 plus 25.13, we end up getting the total area is equal to 242 0.13 centimetres squared. So just be really methodical, go through each shape very carefully. Okay, next example, it says calculate the shaded area within this shape. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to have to determine the area of the triangle and the area of the rectangle. So area of the triangle is going to be, area of a triangle is a half times the base multiplied by the height, which in this case, the base, we need to determine the length of the base here, which I'll just draw in aqua there. And we determine that because we've got 15 down here, and we can see two little dashes here mean these are the same length. We've got 5, we've got 5, 15, take away 5 leaves 5 centimetres over here for the base of our triangle. So therefore, in our equation down here for the area of that triangle, we would say a half multiplied by our base of 5 multiplied by our height of 3 is going to give us an area of 7.5 centimetres squared. Okay, now we need to work out the area of the rectangle. Area of the rectangle is simply 15 multiplied by 10, two side lengths. 15 multiplied by 10 is equal to 150 centimetres squared. Now, in order to work out just this blue shaded area, we need to take this 150 and minus the 7.5. So the area of our total shape is equal to 150 minus 7.5, which is equal to 142.5 centimetres squared. Okay, if you got a question like that which had a circle cut out of the middle here, you would then just calculate the area of the circle and subtract it off as well from the rectangle. There are some examples like that that have been set for you in the questions. Okay, let's move on to calculating our area of a sector. This is our last example. What we need to do here, remember, is we think about this sector as being a full circle. If I just try and draw in a circle there, if you can imagine that then this length here, the 9 centimetres, would be our radius. But we still only need to work out the area here of this portion of that bigger circle. So remember, we do that by working out the fraction of the bigger circle. So the fraction in this case would be our 65 divided by 360 degrees within the circle. Now we need to determine, I'm just going to do area of our little sector here. Now we need to determine the actual area of the total circle. So we use our formula, which would be pi r squared. So if we substitute numbers into here, we end up with 65 divided by 360 times pi times 9 squared. And if we put all that into our calculator, we end up with a sector area of 45.95 centimetres squared. Don't forget the centimetres squared. All right, what I would like you guys to all do now is to attempt the textbook questions. So we've got exercise 9B, topic name area. We want you to do question 1 every second question, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, 5, 7AB, 10 and 13A. That's all on page 433. Good luck, and don't forget to log on and ask your teacher if you have any questions with any of the textbook questions. Thank you for listening.